Hi everyone, Crystal here, but you can call me Chris. This is my second attempt at filming this, so let's hope second time's the charm. So, as you can see by the title of this video, I want to talk about getting diagnosed with breast cancer at 30 years old, which is so nerve-wracking to share online, but it's been really put on my heart to tell my story, and hopefully it can help someone as you yourself or someone you know is going through their own diagnosis. So let's rewind. Let's rewind back to March of 2019. And I don't remember days so much, but I do remember months. So March of 2019, I remember it because it was International Women's Month or Women's History Month, and a local hospital was doing a special for like a women's checkup. And one day I went to sleep in March and I was fine. The next day I woke up and I had I'm going to call it like a small rock at like the upper part of my chest. And I was like, well, this is weird. I didn't have this yesterday. What is this? And so by the time I was able to schedule an appointment and get in, it was closer to the end of March. And the doctor did a checkup. We checked all of the things and they did a ultrasound. And I remember while they were doing the ultrasound, they said it was a cyst. It was a fluid filled pocket that was like in my upper part of my chest, and that I would need to come back on another day to get it drained. And I didn't really have a good experience at this hospital for various reasons. It was a long story, but I didn't really get good vibes. So I was like, you know what? I'm hopeful that the cyst will go away, right? Because that's another thing that they said. They said it should go away on its own. But if not, I would need to get it drained. And so that was my hope. I left there thinking, oh, it's just a cyst. And that was it. That was March of 2019. And fall of 2019 is when I start to notice a difference. And if you guys see me looking to the side, I have a little notepad because there's a lot of dates and a lot of things has happened. So fall of 2019, I remember I was on the phone with my mom and I said, oh mom, I'm really going to need to get that cyst removed because it was starting to impede with my sleeping. So several things had happened. The cyst had grown from a little rock to like, I'm going to say like a little pebble, and it had moved locations. So originally it was like in my upper chest, and then it moved closer to my nipple. And I am a stomach sleeper, so that started to really be uncomfortable to like sleep on my chest and feel like I have like this hard rock pebble like right there. And so I said that comment flippantly to my mom, and then before you know it, my appendix started acting up. So I started noticing that around August, September of 2019. October of 2019, my appendix was like, nah, you're going to have to remove me. And that is exactly what I did. Halloween of 2019, I went in and got an appendectomy. Now, the hospital that I went to was a teaching hospital. So this is where all of the doctors in the area went to learn. And so when I came awake after the surgery, I had like 6 to 10 doctors in my room, all surrounding me, all being like, hey, like surgery was successful, yay, but we noticed something in your breast while we were operating on you and we want to check it out. And in my half like drugged up state, I was like, nah, it's a cyst. Like, I don't, don't worry about it. I need to get it drained, but eventually. And I remember clear as day, one of the doctors like looked at me in the eye and he goes, no, we need to check it out. And it was at that point that I was like, maybe it is an cyst. But the doctor, not that long ago told me it was a cyst. But that was neither here nor there. I got discharged from the hospital probably a day or so later, and I went about my merry day. So the next thing that happens was December of 2019, I remember I went home to visit my mom for the holidays, and I was like, let me go get checked out. near my mom. I'm more familiar with the doctors and all that good stuff. I didn't say, but all of this prior to December of 2019 happened while I was abroad. And so I was coming back home to the States for the holidays. And I remember I made an appointment. I went in to go see the ultrasound tech or the rad tech, and she's doing the, wand over the area. She's taking pictures, but she's like so silent. And I was like, and I'm asking her question. I was like, what is it? Is it a cyst? Do you see the fluid? Like, why has it grown? Why has it moved? And she's just looking at me like, you have another thing coming. But of course, she didn't say anything. She was just like, let me go get the radiologist. And that's exactly what she did. So she left the room after she had done the test and took the pictures and got the radiologist. The radiologist came in and she said, this is a tumor. You need a biopsy. And I think she said it kinder than that. But I was like, what? Like, this was a cyst not that long ago. What are you talking about? Tumor. And she was like, it's a tumor and I want you to get it checked out. And I kid you not, after that, things moved very quickly, but then slowly at the same time. So I went back abroad and I got a biopsy. I want to say a couple of days later, they gave me the results. And a couple of days after that, um, I I had my treatment plan. But let's back up to getting the results. So I had gotten the biopsy. I want to say I got the biopsy on a Wednesday, and that following Monday or Tuesday, the next week, the nurse called me, and she was like, "Hey, we got the results back from your biopsy. We need you to come in and talk to the doctor." And I'm like, "What is it? What's going on? Like, what is this?" And she goes, "It is invasive ductal carcinoma." And at the time, I didn't know what that was. I was like, what? What are you talking about? But she was like, you need to come in and talk to the doctor. He'll explain more. And so I hung up. I Googled it right away. I remember I was at work. Work had just gotten out. And I just started bawling, crying in school, in the hallway, just bawling my eyes out because I had been diagnosed with breast cancer in January of 2020 at 30 years old. So, this is just the first part of my story. Literally, I think the diagnosis was the, tip of a very big iceberg. It is now 4+ years later, and I'm going to be going in a couple of weeks, couple of months, for another surgery. My surgery coming up will be my 5th surgery on my chest, and a lot of stuff has happened since. I had to get re-diagnosed in the States. I didn't start chemo until March of 2020, and we all know it was happening from January to March of 2020 and beyond. So it was a hectic time in my life, to say the least. And then to have to navigate an illness where it literally, you know nothing about cancer, and then you're just like hit with all of these terms and words and treatments and this and that and radiation and surgeries and this, and I was overwhelming, to say the least. So this is just the first part of my story of getting diagnosed, getting a misdiagnosis at first, and then getting properly diagnosed to treat breast cancer. So if you take away nothing from this video, please know that you're not alone, that there are others out there fighting the good fight, and that I'm here if you want to talk, if you want to share, if you have questions. I currently volunteer with several cancer organizations, and I highly, highly, highly recommend that if you have just been diagnosed with breast cancer, that you seek community, you find a support group, you find in person or online someone who has gone through what you're going through or about to go through, so that you can talk about it with someone, because only people who've gone through cancer understand what it's like to go through cancer. No one else. Unfortunately, I know family and friends can try and be helpful, but often more often than not, it's not helpful. So, yes, do know that I'm here, that there are others here willing and ready to help you. And I'm going to put some links to resources that I used that have helped me in the description box below. And hopefully they help you as well. Thank you so much for listening to my story, and have a good day.